it was still just another, in the end it was still just another third-person shooter. Sure, it may have been one of the best third-person shooters, but it was still overall just a third-person shooter. And, like I said, shooters, not a big fan of shooters. So, if it comes down to it, I'd much rather play a good RPG. Hopefully Skyrim will be really good. Most of the videos, they look really good for Skyrim. So, I have seen the 40-minute gameplay from QuakeCon. I would love to post that up, but Bethesda asked everybody at QuakeCon not to record this, and so, you shouldn't have the video. I don't have the video. I know where you can get the video though, but I don't want any problems with Bethesda or any legal problems from posting content that's not supposed to be online or telling people where to get it. So yeah, I'm not sorry, but I'm not gonna tell you where to get the video. Although I can say safely that you can read, I can say that on n4g.com you can read people's, more or less previews or reviews of the gameplay video, and if you're lucky, maybe somebody in those comments will give you a place where you can find the video. If you're lucky, that is. Not saying you're going to be. But if you are lucky, maybe somebody in those comments will be kind enough to tell you or give you a link to it. So, most of the people on N4G aren't actually nice in the least bit. But you never know. You can always try. But, like I said, I personally will not be giving out a link to the video or will not be posting the video because I do not have the video, so I have just seen it. Anyways, your Skyrim or Uncharted 3, I'm gonna go with Skyrim. I'm not gonna get Gears of War because it's pretty much the same game every time, and that could be said for a lot of things. I mean, that could be said for just about any game, really. I could say the same thing about Uncharted, that it's the same game every time, or Skyrim, except with games like The Elder Scrolls, they make huge new worlds for each one of their games. So, coming out, Saints Row the Third, I'm not going to get Saints Row the Third because I don't know. I like those open world games, but with a game like Saints Row, Saints Row, not Saints World. With a game like Saints Row, you really gotta kind of play stupid, and if you really have gotta just kind of screw around and have fun, and run around and slam people's face into the concrete and whatnot, and if those are what a game like Saints Row is really best at. And if you're not doing something like that and slamming into a concrete and whatnot, the game is really boring and really rather repetitive. So that's why I'm not getting it, because while I like to slam people's face into the concrete the same as everybody, I am more focused on actual single player and storyline, and I see no real reason why slamming a bunch of people's face into concrete would have any sort of impact on the storyline of Saints Row, but I've been wrong before, so we'll find out, right? Anyways, moving on to more or less other topics. And as I did say earlier, I'm not getting Modern Warfare no, I don't like Modern Warfare. I'm not gonna get it. So, sorry if you wanted to see, some super awesome gameplay or a walkthrough of Modern Warfare for you. It's probably not gonna happen. Uh, yeah, sorry about that. It's not gonna happen because I don't like Modern Warfare. I don't like any of the Call of Duties, really. I had Black Ops 4 a lot, because I had it. I got Modern 2 for Christmas the same year it came out, and just had fun for a little bit, and then it sucked, and so I decided that I'm not gonna continue to support these when they won't support, like, what it is. I'm not gonna support a company who won't support their own games. Like we support Activision, and we support Treyarch, and we support Bethesda and BioWare and all of these companies when we buy their games. They make money, same as us, and they make money by making and selling these games. And we support them when we buy their games. We pay them just like you would pay the person at McDonald's for your burger. You're supporting McDonald's, but you're also at the same time supporting that person working at the counter, because by supporting that company, you're supporting that person. That by supporting that specific store, that store is getting money, which means that person behind the counter can get paid. I'm sure that most of you probably know how this whole retail thing works. A lot of people in a corporate company don't. It's not as directly. It doesn't directly affect them. As a company sales don't directly affect them the same as how company sales directly affect somebody who works in a retail position. So, but when we buy a game, we are directly affecting the developer. If you buy a game, that developer is, getting money to pay themselves and whatnot. And if you don't buy a game, then that developer doesn't get the money, obviously. It's kind of works like that, and it kind of doesn't. It's more like the publisher gives the developer X amount of money to make this game, and then that goes for, development and people's paychecks and computers and, the software they need and all this, all that stuff that they need to make the game. The publisher gives the developer the money to make these games, and then when you buy the game, you give the publisher the money. When you buy the game, you then give the publisher the money, and so if the game sells well, then the publisher will continue to give that studio money to continue to make more games, and if the game doesn't sell well, then the publisher won't give that studio more money to make more games. So it's the publisher that is really the publisher that takes the biggest risk on a company, not so much the developer. But you do directly support the developer by buying or not buying the game, because you directly support them by directly supporting the publisher who directly gives them money. So, anyways, and the thing is that we support Infinity Ward and Activision by buying their game. We support the developer, or we support the publisher who supports the developer. And you buy their game and you support them, but then they won't support their game. They put out their game and then they leave it. Treyarch's not so bad. They've done more patches to try and get the game more playable than Infinity Ward did, but still, the quality that Treyarch released their game in was terrible. They released a broken game, and that's the only way to really describe it, is that Treyarch released a totally broken game. But Um, you know, but they supported it. Infinity Ward released a mostly usable game that was broken over time, but they refused to support it, and they put it out, and then they were just like, well, screw this. Well, we made so much money off this game, what the hell do we care? And so they put out their game, and then they decided that they didn't care about it anymore, and that's why I refuse to support them, because they don't care about us. They don't care about the quality that their game is in. They don't care if you can play, they don't care if their game is really actually if their game is really actually a 10 out of 10 or just like a 3 out of 10, because, they figure you're going to buy it anyways. And so, because with how popular Modern Warfare 1 was, they figure that, you're going to buy the game anyways, so what do they care? What do they care? And that's why I refuse to support them. I refuse to support the Call of Duty franchise, because they refuse to support their own franchise. They put the game out and then they say, screw it. Whatever, I don't care about it. And, I don't like that. I don't think that's right, so I'm not going to give them my money. That's why I'm not going to get that. As for why I'm not getting Battlefield 3, I probably will get Battlefield 3, but as I said earlier, that comes out almost the same time as Skyrim, and if it comes down to an RPG or a shooter, the RPG is going to win almost every time. And that's why I'm not getting Skyrim. That's why I'm not getting Battlefield 3. I told you why I'm not getting Saints Row. Am I going to get Mass Effect 3? No, probably not. I told you why that one as well. What about... What other game is coming out? What other games are coming out? Bioshock Infinite. Am I going to get Bioshock Infinite? No, I'm probably not going to get that game either. The first Bioshock was pretty cool and everything. I don't think it was, as stellar as everybody said. The game is absolutely outstanding in atmosphere, and definitely does, it definitely does have a super atmosphere and really creates that genuine